the Oklahoman newsroom, this is a Thunder update with Anthony Slater. I'm Jenni Carlson. Well, Anthony, the Thunder's short West Coast road trip over, a big win against the Lakers in terms of big because of how many guys they were without.
Yeah.
What do we know at this point about Russell Westbrook and his status after that dent in his face the other night?
It's not as bad as it originally looked.
It looked bad.
Yeah, it did. Strange things.
Yeah.
Even on the front page of our paper with the dent in his face. But not just Russell Westbrook, him, Steven Adams, who's coming off the hand injury, and Kevin Durant, they're all actually scheduled to get reevaluated today in Oklahoma City. We should know more. They're not practicing today. They're practicing Tuesday. I'm assuming we'll kind of know more moving forward. The most likely to come back is actually, I think, Russell Westbrook. He'll probably be wearing one of those masks. Right. But I could even see him playing as early as Wednesday against Philadelphia. Steven Adams looks like he's progressing along. I'd expect him back at some point this week. Kevin Durant, they said he'd reevaluated. That he's kind of the most unknown of these three. They're really sticking in their playoff positioning, even though the Pelicans are kind of coming on a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think they can afford to rest Kevin Durant some more, and I think they will. But look for updates about those three in the next week or so.
Well, speaking of Westbrook, it did look bad. It looked just strange. But you did some research on guys that have had this kind of injury before. Some guys have missed nothing. Some guys have missed up to 10 games after having the procedure that he had. Is it going to just come down to how much pain he can withstand in this whole thing?
Yeah, and I'm assuming that's probably a lot.
Pretty
the
high,
guy still played with the dentist. I know it was only a few seconds, but I mean, he was out on the court. I assume he's going to be back soon because with the mask, most guys don't miss a lot of time. J.R. Smith actually did it in Oklahoma City last year and only missed one game. It is a pain thing. It's sometimes it's a comfort thing with that mask. But knowing him, knowing where the Thunder are in the race, I mean, I assume that he's just going to strap it on and go. There was actually a report that if it was a playoff must-win type game Sunday, he probably would have played against the Lakers.
Yeah, and we know he can handle a lot. Let's talk about that Lakers game because we got to see a lot of guys that we don't normally get to see. DJ Augustine, prime among them, starting, but Jeremy Lamb having to play significant minutes. And frankly, these guys that we don't always get to see a lot of played pretty darn well. What did you see out of that game?
You just saw the improved depth of this team because, I mean, this is the same issue they had earlier in the year where they had guys out, including the two stars, and where they go, I think, 3-12 at one point without the two stars. DJ Augustine, incredible job off the bench, or not, I mean, starting 41 minutes. Jeremy Lamb, though, is the guy we really got to look at. 14 points, I believe, in about 16 minutes. Out of the deep freeze, I mean, he has not played a meaningful game since I believe late December.
Yeah.
So for him to do that was huge. And then Enes Kanter, again, 16 points, 15 rebounds. He's really been a revelation offensively for this team. It was with Westbrook, it was in the pick and roll a lot. Last night, without Westbrook, they went to him more in the post. He scored a few times. He started getting double teams. He showed a nice passing, career-high 5 assists.
Yeah.
You had to really like what you saw team-wide last night.
I know you said, the Lakers. And obviously a lot of people are going to look at that and say, it's the Lakers. They're not a very good team. But in that early going, when they were missing so many guys, they would lose against teams like the Lakers. Didn't happen yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like a huge win, like an impressive win, but it was an important. I'd categorize it as an important win.
Sure.
Because it gives you had a day off before, 2 days off after. That's 4 days of rest for the three guys that are out.
Yeah.
Without adding a loss in the loss column. That's just doing their job by the guys. And we might see it Wednesday too. Let's assume. Maybe all three of these guys don't play. Maybe it's just Westbrook. You're playing the Sixers at home.
Yeah.
Regardless of who plays or who doesn't, you should win that game.
Right.
This kind of break of, two games in between and the Lakers and Sixers, sandwiching it comes at a perfect time to get these guys back healthy for the stretch run.
Sixers Wednesday, at the Bulls on Thursday. Yeah. Give us a little advanced preview. What are you expecting out of this week? Can the Thunder sweep their games this week?
I mean, they better beat the Sixers at home on Wednesday. I mean, we're talking about the worst team in the NBA, a team that's, the players are trying to win, but the front office is definitely not trying to win. So I'd assume regardless who plays, who doesn't, they should win Wednesday. Thursday, you're probably, going back-to-back in Chicago national TV. You're probably going to need at least Russell Westbrook back, and I would expect him to play that game. So they got a shot. I assume they'll be the underdogs, though. And then 2 more days off, and then they come back here Sunday at home, and they're going to preview those sleeved white jerseys.
Right.
They're wearing those Sunday against the Raptors. Raptors are struggling right now, playing probably their worst basketball. They should win at least 2 of these 3. Maybe they can sneak that one out in Chicago.
Like you say, though, the biggest wins of this week could be the return of a bunch of these starters.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, thanks, Anthony. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day. in the Oklahoman.